Hey everybody, what's up? I am Yan and today I am reviewing something a little different than usual. So I decided to get a new phone and I decided to research about it and wanted to share my journey with you all. Heads up, I am not sponsored and I purchased everything on my own, so like I said, not sponsored. I just want to share my journey with you all in finding a new phone and a little bit of a background information about myself. If you are interested, please hang tight with me. I might put some specific time, so if you're not interested in me sharing my background first, you can skip ahead. If you want to know different parts, you can just hop over there. If you're not interested at all, just head on to another YouTuber, and thanks for dropping by even just for a second. So I grew up where I didn't really need a phone per se. Like, I didn't have after school activities as a student or as a kid, and I always had a phone that I could use in the school building, though that wasn't the coolest thing, but I had one to use. So I was never really needing a phone. I always wanted one, but my parents were like, there's no need to. So I didn't really get a good-ish phone until I started working or when I was in grad school. So that's a long time. Anyways, so in the past I would always have a tablet, and wherever there's Wi-Fi, my friends can find me via email or other apps, but I would tell them, please do not call me or text me because I have prepaid phones, and every time you text me or I text you, I have to pay 15 cents, and my dad only put this certain amount, and so that just made me not want to use my phone, and that was just not fun. But at least I was able to survive. I did it, so can you. Maybe. Especially for the younger generations, at least. You don't really need a phone when you're 10, really. You can use it to play games and stuff, but we don't really call. Maybe text now, but I didn't really need to call anyone. Anywho, I'm going to show you my very first phone. Yay! So it's a Motrolla, I guess. It has the M right here, and I put a lot of stickers, that trend where you just stick everything. I even have lots of little keychains and whatnot I can dangle here. So this was my first prepaid phone. I'm surprised I still have it. It's very cute and cool, right? Nice and small, you can slip it in your pocket. But then people started having, flip phones and slides, and I got extra jelly, but that's what I had. And so moving forward, in college and grad school, I finally had my first smartphone, though I was behind, but at least I could purchase one, and it is an LG G4. It's overall pretty good. If you noticed, I don't put stickers on it anymore. Haven't been. It's a nice size. I have really tiny hands, but this has a good grip. I got like a leather texture for the back. I personally don't highly recommend if you want to put a case over it because it has that extra curve. I don't know if you can see it. It has a little curve right here, which makes it kind of hard to secure the case, but you might be able to find one that goes along with it. But anyway, super sleek and cool compared to my very first phone. And I like the volume here and turning it off and on. It's quite convenient. There are no buttons on the side. You can also take it off very easily with the SIM card inside and battery and all that. But the downside is, even though I used it for 4 years, it's pretty good, but the battery dies very quickly. You can always buy a new battery if you want, but you probably have to charge this in the middle of the day, and I don't have a lot of fancy apps and things on here, just the usual, maybe like Instagram, Facebook, email, and Pokemon Go, but I don't have anything like that really takes up a lot of space. So I mean, it did its job, but it kept dying so quickly that I decided, I should probably get a new phone. And like I said, I used this for pretty much 4 years, so I'm pretty proud of this. And camera wise, it's not bad for taking pictures, but we won't go into recording because cameras back then, So moving on to my most recent phone before changing, it was also not the newest version when I got it. It was still, it's a new phone, but you know, it wasn't like that years. It was probably 2 or 3 gens behind. And so I got Motorola G6, like a G6. And it's my first Motorola phone that's smartphone versus this great grandpa phone, I guess, or even more. But it's pretty lightweight, a little heavier than my LG phone, but it's still not horrible. Good grip, right, for small hands. There's the volume on the side and turning on and off. Camera's right in the middle right here. It's overall not bad, but it just takes up a lot of space. I started taking a lot of pictures and videos while I do, you know, take them out of the phone very often. It has a lot of bloatware that just consumed my phone, and the past year or so it's always been at 90% storage, so it makes everything really slow. Even though I've been clearing cache and everything and removing all of the photos and videos and stuff, it's hard. And there's even a game that I can't play because my phone is too old. It can't upgrade anymore, so that's also a downside. Battery wise, it's not bad. I've been using this for almost 3 years now. It does crash from time to time, but other than that, I mean, it's still usable. But if you are planning to use it for pictures and videos, this is probably not that great. It has a stabilization button that you can use after you record a video, then it turns it into a more stabilized mode, but it's really not that good. So I decided, you know, this is the year where I will buy a nicer phone for myself and a little more recent, so I'll, you know, when I play games or just using it in general, it will last a little longer. So yeah, that's the history of my phones. If you notice, not a lot, but it's been working. Like, it's not horrible. So yeah, let's start and talk about my journey. So I've been researching on phones for like a month every day after work. It's like I made an Excel sheet of all like the different phones I looked at, but there's this one phone especially that I just didn't look at all, which are iPhone products. Now, my family is not an Apple product family, so having an iPhone, I thought, even though it's great, I don't think I would look into it, at least not at the moment, because number one, a lot of iPhones are kind of expensive, at least the ones I kind of skimmed and looked through while researching. Yes, they are awesome though, so I also played with an iPhone 13 and it was pretty cool. Heavy, but pretty cool. I also, you know, I'm just a PC Android family, so I don't want to spend extra money to buy different like dongles and tools to connect with my Androids or my PC equipment, so I decided to stick with Android products. So I guess I narrowed it down a little bit. So let's continue on. I then researched over 10 different types of phones, and to be honest, I don't know anything about phones. I didn't know and didn't really care. As long as it was new and I heard of that brand, I had no idea what versions I got. Like Motorola G6, like great, generation 6. Is that the newest or not? It wasn't when I got it, so anyways, I have learned a lot, but I'm still pretty much an amateur. I read a lot of articles, watched a lot of YouTubers explaining it and telling me what is what. I am understanding a bit more now, but I am definitely still a learner. So if you're someone like me who wants a new phone but doesn't know a whole lot, I hope that my lingo, my descriptions, the way I'm explaining it to you will make sense for you, especially for those who are not as into or as, you know, of an expert of phones. So let's go over some of the phones that I looked at. I looked at a lot of Samsung products and realized there's just a lot. There's the A line, there's Galaxy, there's S20, 21, and 22 is coming up. So if not already, I lost track after I bought the phone that I have right now. I just stopped researching. And so, yeah, I looked into maybe a lot yeah, 6 of those phones in that category. I asked some of my friends, most of them were iPhones, and maybe a few Samsung and a few Pixels, but overall a lot of Apple users, so I didn't get much help from them. Maybe in the future if I get an iPhone one day. So anyways, I looked into a lot of Samsung products because, you know, well known, I heard of them, and I just literally Googled the more recent ones. I was trying to look for a mid-range phone. I don't need flagship, I don't need the trendiest, coolest, most ultra, I don't know, plus, whatever you call them after their names. But I just wanted one that had good camera and, you know, things that I would use generally. So I also looked at Google Pixel phones. I looked at 5 and 5A and 6. So, you know, again, the more recent ones, I learned not to go way back because it will have a lot of limitations. I also looked at OnePlus 8 and 9, and they also have their pluses too, but you know, that just means it costs more. So those were some of the brands that I looked into, because if my phone needs to get fixed for some reason, I can quickly go to a store and most likely they can fix it for me. There are other brands that are more popular in Asia or other parts of the world, so I'm hesitant to buy those or look into those in case I need my phone to be fixed in my hometown especially. So yeah, those were the 3 main brands that I looked into. Alright, so I kind of created a category of things that I want in my phone, and I then, you know, researched a lot. In each sheet of my Excel sheet, I would have a specific phone of the pros and cons. That's how my brain works. So I wanted to have a good price, and I said mid-range, so I don't really know what mid-range means because my Motorola phone I think was like 200 if not 300 or less. So I was like, okay, looking into the 300 range, the phones are pretty bad, or at least not what I wanted a bit more. And then of course lots of fancier phones can be in the thousands, and to be honest, I don't need one that needs to be in that range. So I looked at mid-range, which would be around $500 to $700 or so. So I wanted to make sure I stayed in that category, and there were quite a lot of phones that are within that range, so it's very doable. There's just a lot to choose from, so keep an eye on the pros and cons if you want to pick phones within that budget. Another thing that I wanted to look or pay attention to was the size. Again, my hand is very small, so I wanted something to be, you know, about this size, Motorola size. I'm just quickly peeking. My LG is actually smaller than my Motorola, but if it's a little bigger it's fine. But I just didn't want a massive phone just because I have tiny hands, or if I decide to slide it into a pocket or my butt pocket, it won't fall into the toilet. Well, first of all, I wouldn't put that in my butt pocket. I would put it in a bag or purse, you know. That happened to my friend. So anyways, I just didn't want it to be a huge, almost like tablet size. That's not the purpose. I still want it more like a phone. I didn't want a huge tablet when I pick it up or when I'm texting and stuff. So size was pretty important, but nowadays phones are kind of big, but they're not like huge. And I don't know if we're going to that pathway, especially a lot of phones are getting a bit smaller again. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, the size, be able to grip it with my hands is very important. Another thing is, it would be an extra bonus to have an SD slot holder because I take lots of pictures. I want to have more storage. Unfortunately though, a lot of phones do not have that option anymore because they want you to buy the phone with more storage. So unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore. My Motorola and my LG did have an extra SD slot, and that is super awesome, but you know, nowadays they want you to buy more and consume more, so they don't have that option. So I looked into 182 gig phones. I don't need 200 some. I think if I keep, you know, taking pictures and videos out of my phone, it should be okay. So I decided, you know, that will be where I am at, but hopefully one day maybe they'll have an SD slot again. I really would like that. Oh, and same for headphones. Now you have to have wireless or Bluetooth because they don't have a jack for it anymore, unlike my other phones. So again, a downside. They want you to buy maybe their wireless earbuds under that same brand, you know, and all that. So making more money, I guess, but unfortunately those are rare now. Of course, the interface is very important. So when I played around with the devices, I looked at how it worked. Speed, I guess, is not too important for me, and I'll explain a little bit later, but I feel like knowing how to use the phone is very important. Even if it's a brand new phone at like a shop that I can play around with, if I can easily get to certain places or go to apps and whatnot and settings, if it's that easy, then I would say it's fine. But I did try a few other devices that were a little bit hard, with some hidden buttons, or you swipe instead. So I think it just takes time to adjust, but I like something that I'm a little bit comfortable with, you know, and they're all Android phones, so it's not completely different, but just having something familiar, I guess, would be one of the reasons why I would buy that phone. Alright, games, to be honest, I don't put a lot of games in my phone because I know it takes up a lot of storage. I'd rather save it for camera, the photos and videos. But there are two games that I really want to play and want to keep playing, which is Pokemon Go and Mario Kart. So almost 2 years ago, my Motorola, like, it can no longer be updated, so I could no longer play Mario Kart. I was super sad because I would play every day, just a little bit, and I was super bummed out because I was at level 70, which for those who play, you know, well, it takes a while, right? I played a couple years every day, you know, and that's how I became 70 some, but yeah, so I couldn't play it anymore. Luckily, Pokemon Go still worked, but it was super duper slow. I think the Motorola phone just taught me to be patient when opening a browser, opening my email, opening Pokemon Go. So those are the two games that I really want to keep, and if my phone is able to continue and is compatible, then I would be super duper happy. Alright, the most important thing that I look for in a phone, I kind of mentioned it many times already, is the camera and video work. I love to take pictures, I like to make videos. It's just a hobby that I truly enjoy, and I think it's fun. But the problem with all my previous phones is stabilization. I do have, you know, cameras, actual cameras, but they're bulky, they're big, and they're not always appropriate for, you know, when I go to work and I see a cute squirrel, I won't be like, oh, hold on, let me bring my DSLR out and, you know, set it all up. I want to take a quick snap or make a quick video, or, you know, when I'm walking down, when I travel in Japan, I use my Motorola phone and it's just like boing boing boing, like super dizzy. It was a waste of time to even record. So I wanted a phone that had good stabilization, different options I can use when taking pictures and recording. So I really looked into that and would rather put more, I guess, money, so to speak, on a good device than maybe other things that people are looking for. So yeah, camera is very important for me, and I really YouTubed a lot of people using the different phones and their cameras and to see which one is best. I also played around with it at stores to see for myself, and yeah, it's very important. I'm not an expert in making videos or taking pictures, but like I said, it's something I enjoy as a hobby, so I want it to be the best as I can. with my phone. But of course, when I travel, side tip, don't just bring your phone, but also your other cameras too, if you have. But anyways, that's just me. I love taking pictures. Alright, so after researching for a month, I have been going back and forth between two phones. The first one is Google Pixel 6 and the other one is Samsung S21 FE. I had to look up those in the past. I was like, what is FE? Like fan edition. I was like, okay, what makes it a fan edition? I don't know. I never owned a Samsung, so I don't know what makes it special or what makes it a fan edition versus not. But anyways, those were the two that I looked into. Let me tell you a little bit about each and the pros and cons and what I decided to pick in the end. So the Google Pixel 6 with 128 gigs, it was $600 to start off with. If I had decided I needed a phone sooner, it would have come with free, I guess, wireless earbuds to go with it as a cool deal and as a new phone. But anyways, I'm sure they will have those special, you know, packages in the future as well. But anyways, they have the program called Tensor, which is something new. I'm learning about all these names as well, but the pro thing is that it's their own system and it has more AI effects. So if you're someone who likes to have AI related things, you can use that as well. But it's the best out there for Google, and that's what I learned about that. I didn't go into the details. It got too complicated and too much that my brain is like, I don't know, for a beginner this is too much, so I moved on. It has 8 GB RAM, which means the more RAM the faster it is, and 8 is a pretty big number at the moment, so I guess that's a good thing. The phone is bigger and it is 6.4 inches, so you know when you grab it, so the width of it, I guess? No, the length. I should know measurements at least, the length of it. So it is a little bit bigger than my Motorola that I have, and it might be like up here or so. So it's just longer, but it's not wider. So the grip, based on, you know, the information, it should be doable for my like expectations. Some people say the appearance is kind of ugly and gross and styling is just a little off. For me, I don't really care what it looks like. I mean, I do care, but it's not like on my list of things to worry about. I listed some of the things that I really care about, and appearance, I mean, it looked okay. It's different. You can tell it is Google Pixel, right? Definitely different from other Android products. It has cool colors to choose from, such as there's this coral color or a sea foam color. I think I like those colors, so yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it really, in my opinion. Another thing I saw was fast refresh rate, so you know, sliding, looking and reading things. But again, my Motorola has been so slow. I think any new phone, I would think it's amazing already, so I'm not super picky about that. But with 8 GB RAM, right, it should be very quick, so I think it should be pretty smooth too. So looking at the camera, I looked at a lot of reviews and people trying it out. It does have ultra wide, but it doesn't have the best ultra wide view. Some parts are maybe blurry, or it's kind of a little off or a little strange, but for me it's not that noticeable, right? I'm not too picky. I'm not an expert of taking pictures and videos, so if you're someone like me who takes pictures and videos like a vlog kind of a thing, I don't think it's a huge problem. But people did mention that the ultra wide was not that great, but they do have really nice low lighting settings when you take pictures and record. Some say it looks even nicer than seeing it in person, you know, night view. So that is definitely a plus, especially, you know, if you really want to take a picture of something but it's like very dim, Google Pixel can do the trick for you. And another cool thing is that they have the magic eraser where if someone photobombs you or they're in the way in the background, you can, you know, trace that image or that person and they will disappear. I feel like it's a good thing. Hopefully they can modify it and make it even better, but I really like this concept, especially I take pictures and snap very quickly. Sometimes people are in the way, and so having that magic eraser would be a lot nicer, more natural, more like, I guess, less stuffed in the way. And another thing is that my friend who has a Google Pixel 6 said that, you know, there's no bloatware, there's more storage then, and it's overall something that he really liked about it, and he really likes his Pixel 6 phone. So yeah, those are some of the things I noticed. It is, like I said, $600, so it is mid-range. I said 500 to 700 range, right? So it definitely falls into that category. So if you're looking for something like a Pixel 6, and I hope that kind of helped you. All right, the other one I was looking into was Samsung S21 FE. I still don't know what fan edition means. Maybe there's a few more things that you would keep or have. I don't know. But one thing while researching was that it's very interesting that Samsung would have a FE phone before their S22 came out. So what's the point of having S21 FE when S22 is coming out? I don't know. All I know is that the newest phone is probably the most expensive, so I didn't want to wait for S21 to pop out or, you know, debut. So I was looking into FE, slightly old, but it's still new, 2022, right? So anyways, of CPU, ooh, I might be going to the wrong place. But anyways, if you hear it, you might get it, help me out. Snapdragon. So Snapdragon is not the newest one. There are higher end ones, but Snapdragon is still pretty quick. It snaps very quickly. I don't know, but I don't know why it's called Snapdragon. However, I think it's quick enough for me and I should not worry about it. The refresh rate is pretty quick too, again because I've been using a very slow device. It might take 45 seconds to a minute for it to appear. I think having, you know, a refresh rate of 3 seconds, I don't know, is incredibly fast. This phone can have 6 to 8 RAM, so I guess it depends on the storage. I don't really know, but usually this specific phone has 6 GB RAM, so it's a little slower than Pixel 6, but it's still not bad. It's still good. Yeah. For Samsung S21 FE, it has a good fingerprint scanner, unlike Google Pixel, like some people said. It's a lot more sensitive, quicker. I guess you can open your phone faster then. So I didn't really get to play around with that when I had those two devices available. They were both fast, but I didn't have the fingerprint since, you know, it's a store, it's not mine. But I'm guessing Samsung always had that good sensory part of it, so it's more sensitive and people say it's always the better or the best one out there. The interface is something that I'm kind of familiar with. I mean, it's not too hard. It looks like any other Android, maybe because my other friends who had Androids or Samsungs in the past, I played around or, you know, paid attention to it, but then they all kind of changed to iPhones. So I can only remember like the Samsungs they had in the past. But my friend who has the Ultra one, I think it's Galaxy S21 Ultra, I was able to look at hers and just to see what it's like. So when I played with it at the store, it wasn't something totally new. Of course, there are lots of little things that I should look at if I get the phone, but overall, it's not too difficult. for me, Android is not very difficult. For some reason, Apple products, just because I'm not used to it, it's really hard for me to find certain things or just get the hang of it. But don't get me wrong, iPhones are really good too. The size is the same as Pixel, 6.4 inches. So again, if I get this phone, it will be fine for my hand as well. Not too wide, and it's just a little longer. Again, if I get Samsung, right, then I just have to make sure I don't slip it in my back pocket, and yeah, find a good case for it too. So a thing happened where I was waiting for Valentine's Day, hoping that there will be discounts. So whoever gives a discount or a special thing, I would get that phone, because to be honest, Pixel 6 and S21 FE, other than one name is longer than the other, for me, for my personal use, there's really no difference. Both of the cameras are great. They're both quick. They both have decent battery amount that I'm not too worried about. I can always charge my phone, so it's not a problem for me. But I know people say Pixel 6 has better battery, or can last a lot longer, or a couple hours longer than Samsung's. But for my purpose, it's not a huge issue because I can charge it almost anywhere, whether at work or at home or in the car. So it's really not a problem for me. But as I was waiting for deals, Pixel 6 had nothing special other than, you know, if you sign up for different things, you get a few, like $50 off or something like that. But because S22 is coming out, Samsung has decided to take $100 off of S21 FE. So in the end, it was the budget, I guess, because to be honest, I always wanted a Samsung phone ever since I was little. It's cool. It has a lot of things that I think I would like. When I did not research in the past, I thought it was cool. So in the end, I got Samsung S21 FE. I would have probably leaned toward Pixel 6 if there was not that additional $100 off. But I mean, to be honest, in the future, if I get another phone, maybe I'll stick with Samsung, but I will definitely keep an eye on Pixel products because they're also just as good. So those two are the ones that I highly recommend. And if you're wondering, I actually got my Samsung phone. I know this is not the correct cover for it. I have purchased a shield for my phone, but for now this will do. I just don't like my baby's getting scraped in. It's just me. But I got the lavender. It might be a little hard to see with the lighting, but it's the lavender one, and I have two cases for it. One is like a wallet case, and one is just, you know, a case to cover around it. Very beautiful. So you can see the grip that I have here versus my Motrolla. You can tell it is a little, I should say, bigger, but it's not bad. I mean, I can go over this a little bit more than here, but it's still a good grip, so I am not worried. I also tested the speed of opening Pokemon Go just to compare, and you know, as someone who hasn't had a very new phone in a while, it was a dream come true. Like, Pokemon Go opened up in seconds instead of minutes, and I can play my Mario Kart game again. Opening browser to search for something was also incredibly quick. So I'm just really happy with this product. I still have yet to play with all the phone and camera functions. I've tried zooming, I tried a bit of walking stabilization. I love food, I'm a foodie, so there was a food option when taking pictures. So there's just lots of fun things to explore, and I will spend more time with, you know, playing around with it. I think it's very sleek. It is a little heavier than my Motorola phone. However, it might be a little lighter than Google Pixel since Pixel has a larger battery, but that makes sense then, right? The battery will last longer. But overall, I am very pleased with this product, and I'm just very happy that I picked it. To be honest, I went back and forth every day. Like, I would ask my friends. One day I was like, Pixel it is, and then 2 days later I was like, Samsung it is, and then I asked my dad and he's like, one day Pixel, and then the next thing he's like, maybe Samsung, no, maybe Pixel. So in my head I was just like, I don't know, because for me, for the way I use it, is very close. Like, they were like neck to neck. So I just wanted my dream to come true and get a Samsung, but also at the same time, Pixel, I think, this is my personal opinion, Pixel is still kind of new to the world. I mean, Pixel is available in America, but maybe not as common in other parts of the world. So if I were to travel to Asia or Japan, for example, or Korea, those are my goal places, they are probably more familiar with Samsung products than Pixel, even though I'm sure like the manufacturing and all that are similar, but at least, you know, they are more familiar with the Samsung brand than Google Pixel. So maybe in the future I might change to Pixel when more of the world, you know, recognizes it. But like I said, they're both great products and I highly recommend both. But again, I had $100 off, so both being the same price, I decided to get Samsung. Otherwise, Samsung 21 FE would be $100 more, which is $700 for the same amount of storage as well. So yeah, that's my journey for this past month of researching, and it was a lot of work. It was fun though. I learned a lot and I'm still learning, and yeah, so which phone did you pick in the end after listening to mine? Or you might have a Pixel yourself, or Samsung as well, or maybe another phone that I should pay attention to in the future if I get a new phone like 3 to 4 years from now. So yeah, thanks for watching this with me. I don't have other devices to share with you all, but I just wanted to share with you, you know, my journey, my experiences. If you're someone like me who wants a new phone but doesn't know a whole lot, hope this kind of helps you. We're, you know, similar situation. But yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this, and check out my other hobbies like dancing, baking, K-pop reaction videos. So yeah, alright, goodbye, thank you everybody.